on this. You want to retweet it from your Twitter account?
Yeah.
Okay. We are live from what I'm hearing. All right. Oh, here we go. Can you hear me? Okay. We are live. Oh, yeah. From what I'm hearing. There we go. Sweet.
Okay, and you're running this from your Twitter account?
I am.
Let me find it. I'll retweet it. There we go.
Then.
Okay, it has been reposted.
Perfect. And then.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome. Oh, we have 2 viewers. I don't know who you are. Tweet out the space. It's me and Andrew.
We're just going to have a chat.
Yes, because we're in the same location at the same time. How often does that happen? Not very often.
Not too often. We meet up at conferences. This is the first time I've been up to Ryan's studio.
Huzzah. It's dark, but it's Crypto After Night, right? Crypto After Dark. Oh, God, that's a podcast title. Crypto After Dark with Andrew and Ryan. This is a problem. Okay. Oh, God, there's 8 of you watching us now. Hello. If you can, guys, hop in the chat, post a comment so we can see it all. Tonight is going to be a little bit of AMA. Also going to be every little thing is going to be all right in the state of crypto. As well as Cardano in particular. And we're just going to shoot the breeze and also give an update / talk about NEWM because we were getting the impression that a lot of people don't know some of the updates of actually what's going on. And I think it's been a little bit of information overload and attention economy with everything else that's going on in the crypto space. And so we thought, you know what, let's hop on and talk and chat.
Yeah, I think it started. We saw some of our marketing team tweets, and they're like, "Oh, the new iOS app is out," and some of the first comments were, "When Android?" And we're like, "Android's been out for a while, so maybe people are just missing some of the things we've been doing at NEWM." So we're going to talk about everything that's been released and what tools are out there for artists.
Yeah, so we had fun today. National's been fun for Andrew.
Yeah.
He has no more room. I think is the tweet that went out earlier. So that finished up our dinner, which was at where did we go? 55 South.
55 South. It was good.
So and then we had some nice fusion food earlier for lunch with our friend Jarrett. After our time downtown on Music Row, and then last night, what did we have?
We did the burrito place.
Oh yeah, Chili Burrito. Shout out to Chili Burrito. If you're in town in Nashville, you need to go check it out. Anywho, so that was the food portion of our evening. Anyways, so let's actually start. Andrew, you just said this, and for people who didn't hear this, I know there's more people hopping on. If you can, retweet the space because we're just gonna have some fun. Because how often are you in Nashville?
It's been many, many years since I've been through Nashville.
I'm just saying. I hope it's more frequently at this point.
We'll see.
But we were talking about, we announced the iOS app, the NEWM iOS app, and we had somebody go, when Android? And we're like, Android was first. Haha. Joke's on you. So if you're watching, whoever you are, sorry, but thank you for the cannon fodder. So yeah, our mobile app launched. The most recent was our iOS. Andrew's been out. If you don't know, if you try to listen to music NFTs on the blockchain right now, it's a really poor experience.
I mean, it's doable. There are some wallets that have integration. There are some websites that you can go to. But by and large, if you want to have a good mobile experience where you can take your music with you, the music you've collected either from Drip Drops or from the NEWM record store. The record store exists. Go check it out.
We'll talk about that in a minute too.
It's just a much better listening experience. And that mobile team at NEWM has been working really, really hard on getting everything ready to go for the release. They've been working very hard on testing. The whole team has been testing the app for quite some time. So definitely get in there, check it out. If you don't yet have music, there's some free tracks you can pick up on Drip Drops, and also go over to the record store and pick up some tracks there and support the local artist on Cardano. Like that's how we win, is by supporting the actual things that are happening on Cardano.
What a concept.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I call it the iPod for blockchain. I have a prop here, which is not a prop. It's a real iPod. I still have this 80 gigabyte iPod. I think I repurposed it into a hard drive, portable hard drive.
In a museum, shouldn't it?
Oh, that's unfortunate. You went there. Oh, shots fired. All right. So just so we're recapping, we got mobile app in both operating systems, Android and iOS. Go check it out, y'all. You can get music from Drip Drops, potentially for free. There's some free music for dripping there. And then also from the record store, where we have our music collectibles. And so,
and actually it's an open standard. So the SIP60 standard was created by a whole group of everybody on Cardano who's doing music.
Well, almost.
Most everybody was involved with that.
This is Crypto After Dark, y'all. We're getting saucy.
Yeah. So that app will play any music that follows the SIP60 standard. So that should be anything that came out of Six City before Jimmy joined our NEWM team.
Shout out Jimmy.
Shout out Jimmy. And there's a number of people that have followed the SIP60. I think we've been asked before about whether the Stuff.io music follows that standard. I don't believe it does. So,
but you might even find a random audio from NFTs that pops up in your music player. That happens too.
That's true. Some visual NFTs included a music track in them, so those may show up as well.
It's like an Easter egg. You never know what you're going to get
if they're supported.
So, okay, so that's mobile app. We haven't talked about future, but in the future, the app is going to become more than what it is right now. This is the first version, so V1. So keep your comments coming to us and be kind. I'm just kidding. You don't have to be kind. You can just tell us.
Jimmy's role with NEWM. I'll put that question.
Yes. Wait, hold on. This is my first time using. Ready Player One. Hello. So, yes, tell us more about Jimmy's role with NEWM.
Yeah, so Jimmy was already doing a great job of onboarding artists to Cardano through his Six City brand. And he had distributed a number of tracks through us. He learned our system very quickly. He's got a unique skill set. So he's kind of he's a bit on the technical side. He knows how Cardano works. He's done minting for years on his own stuff. It was just kind of a good fit to bring him on, and also kind of help onboard other artists to the platform, just because he's been in the trenches using it already. And so we worked out a system where his SIC tokens could be converted into NEWM tokens. And it was just kind of a good synergy and a good fit there to bring him on board.
Yeah.
You want to say anything else about
that? I mean, shout out to Jimmy and to the Six City crew. And I think everybody's happy that Jimmy's on, that he came on. He's also part of the art team.
Artist relationship team, art.
Yeah, see what we did there? I know. It's almost like we're witty or something. So he's also part of the artist relations team. And so that whole team basically helps to white glove musicians. So if you want to use the platform and you want to have some crazy idea of some experience you want to build out, they can help you with that. And so Jimmy also works with that too. So
there's a lot of artists who are coming up that have never distributed before. Like they've never put a song on Spotify or never on Apple or anything. And that art team is kind of the first interface they get with, essentially we want to be the real music industry for them. So, oh yeah, I've played music for years. I've never put my stuff out there. I've never put myself out there. And that's where that art team comes alongside them and says, okay, here's the tools that we've built that can kind of bring you on your next step of your artist journey. And that's what Jimmy was already doing. And now he's doing it for NEWM, and he's also doing a great job of supporting the tools that we've built. So if you have questions, run across issues, chasing down bugs, whatever, he's kind of been playing a number of roles in the ecosystem for NEWM.
Yeah. So
you want to talk a little bit more about just kind of where we started, what products we started with, and why?
Yeah.
And then kind of bring people along. You know, we started kind of at the end with the mobile app, the latest stuff. Let's go back to the beginning, and then let's touch on the middle stuff.
You read my mind. We had to start with mobile first because we were just cackling about when Android. Okay, so once upon a time, 4-ish years ago, for those of you who don't know, I had an idea, an initial concept to do decentralized streaming. I wanted like a Spotify, but decentralized version. And I was in the ecosystem, and I finally met some people, Kyle being one of them, Ada Frog, if anybody knows who that is. And I remember talking to him, and I think a Mark Stopka at a time, and basically, told him what I wanted to do. And they were like, Kyle was like, "This is a great idea. I don't have the time. He's been busy. He's been building other things."
Yeah.
So it's great. And so long story short, I eventually met you at the first Cardano summit.
So much happened there.
Holy
I mean,
cow.
that was life-changing for me, that first Cardano summit.
The basement.
Yeah, I mean, the basement, that's kind of where everything happened. I met Kyle there for the first time.
We're not supposed to talk about the basement, are we?
No, that's fine.
I'm just kidding. Go with the drama, Andrew. Y'all, I'm working on him so hard. Andrew's tired. He's done a lot of people talking today. So no, I'm kidding.
No, we hung out in a basement with
who was in there?
All the OGs. Pratesh was in there. Yeah. McCracken was in there. McCracken insisted we all get tacos, so we're eating tacos in a basement with McCracken. That was cool.
Yeah, Rick like walked in with 2 freaking bagfuls,
shopping bags full of tacos.
And we're like, Rick, what the freak did you get the tacos from? And he's like,
I'm Taco Rick. Like,
and it wasn't even Tuesday.
Yeah,
it wasn't a Tuesday. It was a weekend.
Yeah, but that's kind of where I first met Ryan, and over the next few days, he kind of told me what he was working on.
Well, wait, let's back up, because even before that, if anybody knows Indigo Protocol, Cody Butts,
yes,
was already with myself at the very beginning, and
yes, Wyoming.
Yes, Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah, so Laramie, Wyoming was the foundation for a number of Cardano companies. It was the foundation for Drip Drops. That's where that launched, where we essentially did the handshakes to say, let's do this. And it was the same for NEWM. Had kind of already launched, but that was my introduction to NEWM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was like a soft launch.
Yeah. Well, you had kind of a management team in place, but nobody else. You had Cody kind of doing the website stuff and kind of kicking things off before he left to go and help build Indigo.
Yes.
Yeah, the 21 was, there's never been a summit with that feel, since or before, I think.
I hope maybe one day we can get back to some type of that feel. Summit 21, a classic.
That's right. I met Nudes there for the first time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's right.
I didn't know who he was, and he's like, I'm Nudes.
Nudes, I think you and me met then too. I could be wrong. We met a lot of people that time. But yeah, so, and there were other people in the basement as well. I think whose dad was down there helping? Was it Kyle's dad?
Kyle's dad was in Laramie, yes.
Yeah.
I met Kyle's dad. I met Marco for the first time.
Yes.
I met Adam Dean in person for the first time.
Wait, Adam was brushing his long, luscious locks in the basement. I need everybody to know that. They were just very flowing. And then Marcos and I sat on the couch, and we actually talked about a whole nother music idea that I had in my head about music Lego blocks, to where you can basically make little like make an NFT of each pitch, and then use those NFTs to create on like a grid, like a composition, and then mint that, and then be able to use that and another mint to make a bigger composition, and all these gamification things. And I was like, this was in my head, and Marcos, it was like, let's make it a business. And he's doing his Marcos thing, just turning things into gold. I was like, I got to finish the first thing.
Yeah.
Who else was down there? I think there's one or two other people. I can't remember who they are off the top of my head. Forgive us if you were down there. Nils was not down there, I don't think.
He might have been.
I want to say he was.
Yeah, maybe he was.
Yeah.
But
So, anyways, so I met Andrew, and I actually had Cody met you for the first time.
Yes.
Not for the first time, but he met you, and
yeah,
you guys
for the first time.
And you guys had a mini nerd out session at a table in the big tent for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Talking about NEWM.
He was kind of talking about NEWM. He was talking about kind of the vision that Mark Stopka had for the technology. Mark, if you don't know, was the original CTO at NEWM before I kind of took over for him. I did my best to fill his shoes and kind of carry out the vision he had set out originally. So he had tons of documents for what he saw. And I still chat with Mark on certain Telegram channels. He's still around the Space Coins community. I love all of his memes he posts.
Yeah, you showed me his meme he posted a couple days ago. That made me cackle. So, and we met there, and then I remember asking you, I was like, so this is what I want to do. Can you do it? And to which his response was, let me talk to my wife. Which that's a
I was at
answer.
Walmart at the time, working on their Android mobile architecture team, and I was kind of to the point where Cardano was making me a little bit more money than my day job, and it was like, well, it'd be tough, but maybe we could pull it off.
The days it was above $1.
Yeah, it was
$2.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, my wife was like, if you don't at least try, you're going to wonder forever if you should have done it. And so that's kind of when I pulled the trigger and said, okay, I'm going to make my living off of this Cardano blockchain. And, some things, it's not great for decentralization that I have a bunch of stake pools. But on the other hand, that's one of the few ways that you could actually support yourself full time. Also living in the United States, where we have higher cost of living, no free healthcare, and all that other stuff.
You're upfront about it, though. That's fine. Before we bore these people, these 110 of you, hello everybody. Tweet the space out. We're gonna get spicy, juicy, saucy. Too full.
Yeah. So that was kind of the foundation of NEWM.
Yeah.
The main product we were talking about was distribution service. So
you just skip right ahead.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Streaming was like pushed out because that was not the best idea to go first.
Well, let's just also call it, y'all, getting a streaming platform is hard. Like it takes a lot of money, and you either need to have chicken and egg, you need to have a catalog.
Jameson Daniel Studio Life, yes.
He knows. All right, nudes, get it.
Yeah, so that was one of the very first tracks I ever put out before NEWM. Jameson Daniel, he's a EDM artist somewhere in California, but he put out a whole album as one NFT. So if you have those, I believe they can be played in the app. Yeah, they definitely can, because I've listened to Vibrate many times. It's like, that's my jam. I was listening to that like as that drop was going live. That's
amazing.
Fun back in the day. Thanks.
So long story short, we thought, okay, distribution service, this makes sense because then we have control of money flow coming on the chain. It's a product that we need, because if we can't acquire our own catalog, not having the funds to do that, well, anything we distribute, we can stream. And so figuring that, okay, if the distribution service is everything it needs to be, and it's a better alternative than traditional, then we'll acquire users from that. And then that will be a really good pillar to actually have more and more music coming in to where we have access to do other things with it. So that was why we made that choice. And so at that point, yeah, our first, and let's take a quick pause here for a second, because if you all remember this, the first thing that we actually put out wasn't the distribution service, not the automated. We had a partnership, but before we get there, we did our first proof of concept in-house, not automated. We did it, but we used the tech and the contracts to do this with MERS, Bigger Dreams.
The sample sales.
The sample sales. So those were our proof of concept to show that, hey, the tech works, the connections work, it makes sense. Now we just need to automate this stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's, if you were at CNFTCon, we had a panel up there discussing that. MERS was there talking about that and his experience with that. And so like I still text him. We still text, just checking in and stuff like that, just because he enjoyed it and he's just a cool human. So that was that, and I think that was the first time Charles came and took a picture in our booth with us.
That's right.
So shout out Charles. Fast forward, before the distribution service went live, Patrick from InMaker came to us and said, hey, have you thought about doing this using InMaker stuff? And we thought, it's not necessarily part of our core business of what we originally were thinking of, but there's an appetite for it in the general community, and it's going to be a relatively easy lift. So yeah, let's do it. So that's actually how the record store came about. Yep. Was initially from that. So and that actually went live first. That wasn't our actual in-house product. That was a collaboration between Six City, InMaker, and NEWM as far as that goes. But that's our little caveat.
It's actually worked out really well, because then that allowed us to do the mobile app and point at all those NFTs and do the iPod for blockchain. Whereas originally, we had planned to just go straight to streaming, but honestly, we haven't grown enough we don't have enough content to do a full streaming platform yet.
Yeah. So it turned out to be a really, really good thing, and it's going to end up becoming more prevalent as we go along the way. So just spoiler alert. But distribution service finally went live, and V1, and it didn't matter what platform you're on because it's a web browser base.
Yeah,
Anybody wondering?
Explain what the distribution service is and does. Like, as an artist, what does that do for you? Yeah,
so just if anybody doesn't know this, your music doesn't magically just show up on streaming platforms, right? So like you got to create it, and then you end up with a master wave file, dot wave, hopefully a wave file.
Or a FLAC.
Or a FLAC. I'm pro wave all the way.
I like FLAC all the way. Tight file size.
Bleh.
Lossless.
Nah, no. Wave all the way. Anywho, so sorry. What is this? AKG P220 or 220? Yeah, I think so. I'm the audiophile here. Techie meets audiophile. Headbutt. So to get your music actually out onto a platform, you have to use a distribution service to distribute to the streaming platforms. You can't just like snap your fingers and it magically appear. And so musicians have a couple of choices. I mean, there's some smaller ones, but the big ones are like CD Baby and DistroKid and TuneCore are three of the big ones that musicians will use. And so what they do is they put their music on that platform. They put in metadata, and then they have it upload, and it goes to the streaming platforms. So that's how they actually get the music out. But one of them, you have to pay every year to keep your music up. Another one, they take a percentage of your actual streaming royalties. And so in return for that, you don't have to pay every year to keep it up. So either way, you're out money perpetually to keep it out there. So we built a distribution service for musicians to distribute all of their music to any of the 130 plus streaming platforms, with a benefit of you pay one time, and it's distributed in perpetuity. So you don't pay more than once. You don't give up any of your streaming.
It's very
rights.
Blockchain to do it that way.
Right?
Just like you just pay once, it's forever on the blockchain.
Huzzah. And so with the added extra benefit of the blockchain techiness of fractionalization and tokenization of your streaming royalty. And so hence the stream tokens. If anybody has been paying attention, you know that's just one type of IP for a piece of music. There's like a lot more. There's mechanicals, there's masters, there's syncs, there's neighbors, there's terrestrial. It's a lot. And so eventually, the tech stack works for all the other ones. We want to add some other types of IP tokens. And so this was the first step. But that's our distribution.
Why was it the first?
Well, yes, because it was the least perceived amount of value as far as IP goes. And then also it has the least amount of middlemen that we would have to connect with and play with in the Web 2 world, right?
Least amount of people trying to sue us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there he said the quiet part out loud. And so that's how we landed on that. And we give you the distribution service. The studio is what we call it. And that's V1. And we do singles. One of the cool things, we were talking to somebody this morning about this, is they went, how do you do your splits? And we were like, it's so easy. You literally put in the address of the person.
The email.
Yeah, the email. And you set the percentage, between 0 and 100. And if you're an indie artist and you own it all, you're the only person on the list. And you go, email, 100%. And then you click mint. And it literally distributes. It gets checked to make sure there's no copyright infringement. Once we get a call back that it's all good and it's going to be released, then we mint the stream tokens and they get magically distributed into your wallet. And at that point, it's all mapped. And so as people are listening to your music, that's on maybe Spotify, maybe your grandma's listening to your music that you put out. She does not know Bitcoin. She thinks it's some weird scam thing going to zero. But yet some of her money might be ending up on the blockchain coming to you in the form of royalties because she's listened to your piece of music on Spotify. And so that's how that actually works. So
let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So how the royalty system works is we have a white label distributor that NEWM uses behind the scenes. They collect all the royalties for all the songs that we have distributed, and they pay those out in US dollars to an account. Once those dollars come in, they go into, we turn that into an actual buy of NEWM tokens on the open market. So if you're a holder of NEWM tokens, every royalty that comes in creates buying pressure on the NEWM token. Those NEWM tokens are then put into a bucket, and we snapshot the stream tokens to see how many NEWM tokens you've earned based on those streaming royalties that come in. And all those royalties can be claimed through our next product that we'll probably talk about, which is the marketplace.
Dun, dun, dun. I wish I had a sound right there. I'd do it.
You just had a sound. Okay. Yeah, the marketplace is the place where streaming royalties are bought and sold. And so you can put the stream tokens on the marketplace right from the studio. There's an extra tab we added in the last couple months. Once the marketplace is live, if you don't know, we got to say that because sometimes people don't know what we've put out there.
Did y'all know we have two marketplaces? One's called the Record Store.
Record Store for NFTs.
Collectibles.
Marketplace is for
streaming tokens.
Royalty rights tokens. Tokens.
For right now. Potentially more IP tokens to come in the future.
Yes.
So 2 different stores serving 2 different purposes. One is for collectibles and, like scarcity plays and different stuff like that. The other one is just for streaming tokens, for the stream IP. And so let's I want to make a point, just a point of clarification that I don't think people quite understand, is that, in my opinion, to my knowledge, buying an NFT, the only way that people could, when they buy something, outside of they just like it and they want to hold it, for those degenerates who want to buy something and then flip it for a profit, the only way that happens is that you have to have somebody that's willing to come in and spend more money than you did for the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is for everything that humans perceive to have value, though.
Right. I mean, but except though, if I buy stream tokens and I just hold them, then there's value that's accruing potentially if people are listening to the piece of music.
Yeah. So if you like the music, if you find value in it, if you think others will find value in that piece of music, go to the marketplace, find that hidden gem that hasn't yet blown up, and purchase a piece of it. And then anytime that particular song earns royalties, you can go to the marketplace and claim those royalties.
Yeah. So you literally have something sitting in your wallet, potentially generating you income as an NFT.
Yes.
That's kind of a cool concept.
It's not an NFT. It is a stream token.
Yes, it is a fungible token.
Rich fungible token. We kind of invented that category because we wanted the richness of the NFT, all the metadata, and we wanted the fungibility of the fungible token. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle. We created a SIP for that.
We want it all. Something like that. I'm just going to sing everything. It's what I'm going to do. Oh, gosh, y'all. Yes. So that is the marketplace. So let's just keep track of this. So there are 4 products for anybody that's keeping count. There is the I'm going to go in chronological order of release. We have the record store for collectibles, NFTs. And then secondly, we have the distribution platform, NEWM DSP, i.e. the studio, and that is for music distribution and tokenization and fractionalization of the IP specifically related to streaming royalties. That's product number 2. Product number 3 is we have a mobile app, which is available on iOS and
Android.
And we even released it alphabetically, A before I. I'm just going to throw that out there. So Android and iOS, to where you can consume the lovely music collectibles from the marketplace.
The record store.
The record store. You know what I mean? And any other token that follows the SIP60 music metadata standard. Yeah. And to Jason Appleton's question, Jason, that's you if you happen to be catching this. Yeah, no stuff IO stuff because to our knowledge, it's not SIP60 metadata standard usage. And then lastly is we have the marketplace for the streaming tokens. And so if I am a non-musician, I'm going to be going to that marketplace. Because I want to go check out some music that's being distributed that's going to be potentially generating royalties. And I want to look at that and I want to create a portfolio of music that could be potentially music IP that can be generating me income. That's the way I look at it. To me, this is a totally different asset class. It's a brand new asset class. You can now have as opposed to a portfolio of stocks in a portfolio of music. And within that, you have a portfolio of different types of music IP. Which is really, really cool. And so those are our 4 pillars and our 4 products that we think are going to lead to some really cool things in the future.
Yeah. And if you want to listen to any of that music, a good way to discover it is to go to the marketplace. And we just added this feature in the last couple weeks, maybe, where it'll have the link to the song on Spotify. So you can go there and listen to the complete song on Spotify, and that streaming royalty will flow back to all those stream tokens.
Huzzah. So that is products that we have going on right now. Let's hop gears. Let's shift gears for a second. And I'll talk about, some potential use cases in the future. We can talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk markets. I want to talk about that for just a second.
Okay.
Because we did say every little thing is going to be all right. Right. Yeah. The markets right now are fun. And if anybody's wondering, it doesn't matter. We're still building.
No, nothing changed.
No, it's just business as usual, y'all.
It's like a few months ago for me back when ADA was 60-some cents. And it feels exactly the same.
It's actually, no, it feels a little worse now, actually.
Yeah, it does. It shouldn't, but it does.
It shouldn't, but it does. Yeah. So just my 2 Satoshis on the matter. I am of the theory that we still have a left translated peak to where it just basically it's going to be elongated. I think we still top November-ish. Sometime in Q4, or at least Bitcoin does. So we might have a little bleed over with the alts into the new year, like in 2018. I think it was mid-January before they gave up the ghost and went on a roller coaster. So y'all just hold on tight. or loosely, depending on what it is. So I'm personally, I've passed diamond hands because I've round tripped my bags a couple times at this point. I'm at the arthritic hand stage, so I just don't even know if I can release my hands at this point. So don't feel bad taking profits on the way up. Let me just say that, right? Practice taking profits, even if it's a little bit. Like take like $50 and just practice doing the sell button, because there's something psychological about that. I really think there is. So, and don't listen to crypto Twitter when they say hold, hold, hold. No, do what you need to do. So ADA, it's what, 64 cents, I think, currently. Let me check 64.53. If you're a real OG, you're not even looking at the ADA USD value. You're looking at the ADA Bitcoin value. That's Satoshi value. So check that out. We might double tap, have a double bottom on the SAT value, maybe. Or we could have already found our new bottom, which is a higher low from the 400 and something Satoshi level. So you have that funny look on your face.
You're talking crypto numbers to me. That's not why I joined the space. I'm a builder. Like I don't even think about it as an investment anymore. It's like crypto is just income to me.
That's a great place to be.
I get paid in crypto.
Huzzah.
So like, I know you guys won't want to hear it, but I sell every 5 days so that I can eat food.
So it's your fault that the ADA price went down.
I don't make that much income.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I sell and it does not affect the price. That's
because we have liquidity on exchanges for this for ADA. Yes, shout out to people adding native asset support to your centralized exchanges, please and thank you. So, all right, a couple of things. AMA, if you have any questions for us, you can feel free to ask. Yes, Andrew was in town. We had a meeting or two to do. It was important. It was fun. I think I had fun.
Yeah, if you see the Twitter, you know we talked to the folks at Red Light Management.
Yeah, it was a good combo.
It was.
So
they manage quite a few big artists.
Rick looked up the catalog and was like, "Oh,
yeah,
bazinga!" So y'all, we're working. That's just a heads up. We can't talk about everything, but just to let everybody know, it's an attention economy. There's a lot of projects that are launching on Cardano. I get it, and they're all exciting, and I'm really proud and happy for a lot of the builders. But we just wanted to get on here and just say, hey, we're here, we're still here, we're building, we're just being silent about some things, which is not a bad thing.
Well, the main thing is to let everybody know that we do want to see our product succeed, and so part of that is getting in front of bigger people, bigger names, and practicing pitching the product.
It's really interesting pitching NEWM to people, because you have a couple different buckets. You have non-crypto people,
right?
Non-crypto musicians, but then you also have crypto degens from a consumer standpoint, and so you kind of have to have a little bit of a different conversation with, depending on who it is.
Yeah, and it's fun to be in a meeting when it finally clicks for them.
Yeah,
and it's really interesting to pitch NEWM, because it's not like we're pumping our own company, because there is no real company. It's a foundation. It's a not-for-profit. Yeah. And we're like, you should do this thing. And they don't quite understand our motivation for doing it the way we're doing it.
We had somebody say, had you just been a private company, you'd have had a much easier time about it.
Yes, we would. We know that. But it's fun to do stuff a brand new way and be open and more of a DAO and kind of have a community come along with you on a journey like this, and make sure that all the products, all the value flows back into the NEWM token itself, like not into some company on the side. It's all about making sure that the value flows in the right direction, so that the community wins when this project takes off. So
exactly. So you said it. Okay. I'm going to give people, I'm going to talk a little bit about potential use cases with the Lego blocks that we built. And while I'm doing that, if anybody has any AMA questions, feel free to ask us. this is the time. You'll get like a maximum of 5 minutes because we've been live for 39 minutes and 42 seconds, which means that Andrew's about 4 minutes and 55 seconds away from falling over off the side of of my piano bench that he's sitting on right now. So, okay. So I painted a picture today, and I said this to somebody else a while back. So the record store and the marketplace, currently, we've had a lot of people that they will distribute a single into distribution. So it shows up on Spotify's of the world. But then they take the same audio that you can listen to on streaming platforms, and then they mint that as a collectible in the record store with a scarcity aspect to it. And they might add some type of artwork to the thing, and that's fine. And I think that works for some people, and some fans like getting the audio, but with a different album cover, and they like the visual aspect of it. That's fine. But me personally, there is a world in which I release or a musician releases a single onto streaming platforms. And you all know this, there are acoustic versions of a piece. There are a live version of the piece that ended up sounding different than the thing you'll hear on a streaming platform, because it could have been a one-off on a actual live performance that it just happened to be different that night.
Yeah, they also brought up there's a ton of music that's just simply on the shelf. So they'll take an artist, they'll put them in the studio, and they'll have them do 15 different songs, and maybe only 7 or 8 of those actually make it onto the album, and the others just sit on a shelf. Maybe they're too similar to an existing song. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just
based off of their calculations, it's not the right time, or they don't think it's going to do well, and they don't want to put the resources behind it to try to push it, or anything. It could be any particular reason. Well, I want to see, we can see a world where I release something on a streaming platform, and then on the marketplace, as a collectible, I would only release maybe 1,000, depending on my fan base, bonus tracks that have never been heard before and will only be available as an NFT. And or I might release an acoustic version of the song that's out, and then the only people who have access to even purchase it are the people that own some stream tokens. So you have like a token gated access to certain content. That is a real use case and a real total, like a real user experience. And when I was talking today, we are very focused on building the Lego blocks. We are very intentionally not focused on trying to be the builders of the experiences, because we have to finish building the Lego blocks. That's an important part of the equation. And so that's a really, really cool use case and a really, really cool artist and end listener experience. That's so much more meaningful. It's so much different than just like going to listen to them live once and have a t-shirt.
And there's also the things that, are kind of can be done because we're on Cardano, but are not necessarily, we don't view them as NEWM's job to build them. So let's say, for example, you have a piece of music and it has a track record for earning royalties. So there is some known value history to this piece of music. What can you do with that?
I would love to be able to go on to maybe Liquid Finance or some exchange and use that as collateral, as a loan potentially, because I can go, hey, I can put up my song as collateral. It has generated for at least a year this much income over the course of 12 months. So it has to have a minimum value of this. Right. And so then you get into these weird DeFi plays. And it's the degenerate DeFi plays of leveraging a totally different asset. And I think you said this, it's extreme liquidity. Mm-hmm. It's a complete, just, you're totally tearing down the wall as far as siloing different types of value, right? And that to me is that's really cool,
right? But that's, again, like, we don't want to build everything. We want to build the Lego blocks that really help the artist and just kind of kickstart this music economy on Cardano, and then kind of see where it goes from there.
I like that, music economy. It's great. Trademark tonight.
That's what it is.
Andrew Westberg. He's too full. That's what it is. So, All right, y'all. We are 25 seconds away from Andrew falling over by my calculations. And I see no more questions popping up. Oh, Nudes did say one thing. He said, since blue cheese has confirmed excellence, what other flavors of cheese would be on the other endeavors, Andrew? Like, is NEWM pepper jack? Moneta, like provolone? Need to map this ecosystem for the chefs of Cardano. Thanks. I'm just saying. I'm gonna go with NEWM as I like was it Parmigiano Reggiano? Yeah, that's mine personally.
Sure, go for it.
I mean, unless you want to be like spicy and we're on pepper jack, I
Moneta
get
is
it.
very, I would say provolone. It's got flavor, but it's kind of a mellow.
subtle.
It's like it's utilitarian. It does the thing you need it to do.
Like NEWM.
Like no. I was talking about Moneta.
Oh, that's
yeah,
fair too.
it does the thing. It represents a buck, and it plays a role.
I mean, it'd be kind of fun to use some stream tokens as collateral and pull out some USDM.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I mean, there's many different things you could do with the stream tokens, and pair them with USDM on an exchange. You could, do any interesting number of things.
Okay, it is time. We are here. I have no more questions on this chat to look through. Unless we can hide the chat. Okay, perfect. So y'all, I think I'm going to be doing more of these because I have this StreamYard stuff set up now, so it's relatively simple to click a button. I might have random people show up and just come and join in talks.
Absolutely.
Anywho, I hope you all enjoyed this. It's very informal. It's just kind of us enjoying ourselves. Or I'm enjoying myself. Andrew's just tolerating it because he's like, "Oh my god, I'm sitting here."
I enjoy doing podcasts every once in a while. So.
Oh yeah, I heard that clarifier. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, like podcasts are too long. I like to do my short, tight videos and be done.
Fine. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to hit us up in the chat. My Twitter. It's Ryan Jones _NEWM. Andrews is it's like
AMW7.
That
I had one of those super early Twitter accounts in 2007, and it mattered how many characters were in your name. So I just made mine as short as I could.
Way to flex. Thank you. I was graduating high school in 2007.
Way to flex. You're young.
That's right. I'm young. Woo-hoo. Anywho, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, follow the NEWM account at Project NEWM. It's on Twitter. Also, if those of you that are watching on the YouTube, you're going to notice you're going, Ryan, what did you do to your channel? I've rebranded the channel. It's Sound Crypto. So if anybody else on Twitter is watching this, go check it out. We're changing the format. It's going to be music and blockchain tech focused. So it's going to allow us to talk all things NEWM as I'm seeing them used from people, as well as explore some of the musicians in the space and just kind of chat with them about their experience. And see what that looks like. So amongst some other things too. So anywho, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, y'all.